This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on this Tuesday morning. Ready to rock and roll. We'll have Tim Bergstrasser, MSU men's basketball coach, join us about a half hour as the Dragons get ready for unbeaten Minot State coming up on Friday. There'll be a heck of a way to start what's going to be a great sports weekend here in town. We ended our first hour chatting on the Bison of the Jackrabbits, and we're going to talk very more about it here in hour 2 as we welcome back to our show, friend of the program, who does South Dakota State women's basketball, which we're going to chat about. He also patrols the sidelines for Jackrabbit football. Scotty Kwasniewski joins us here on this Tuesday morning. It's great to see you from your bunker, as you described it. This almost seems like it was predetermined. We played the comments that Mark Gronowski and Jimmy Rogers had after the game, Scotty, in October, that they thought this would happen, and it's manifested itself that now we got it again here on Saturday.
Got the committee's ear and thought, yeah, let's put these guys on the same bracket again. And so, it was fun in Frisco. I mean, just that meeting, and that was like a pinnacle, like, oh, if these two teams ever made it, and we did. So Here's another element. Well, it's kind of a been there, done that format. Is how many times have we met? I think Jimmy Rogers the other day, is from his time as a player to a coach, this is like his 25th or 26th time playing North Dakota State. So it's like, an old friend reunion at the holidays.
I thought it was interesting how frontal he was about this, though. He mentioned it after the game. He mentioned it during the selection show. Did that strike you? You're around him way more than I am. Did that strike you as not necessarily odd, but it's like every coach always says we're on to the next game. It's not been that way with him.
I don't think so. I think, because it was a loss, because it snapped a winning streak and losing in Fargo for the marker, there's something. It's, is it hyperbole? Is it factual? Is it, and he wanted it. I mean, he's a competitive guy. He's a fiery guy. It's like, if you don't get a second chance, you want to reprove yourself. And well, here's your opportunity to do that. So it's not to say that, they can't go up there and lose again, but it's not to say you can't come up and win too. So, I mean, what would you expect him to say? Oh, I hope we never come up here again.
You've seen this team up close, especially after that game, Scotty. What's been the last 7 games? Is there anything noticeably different? Or I know they're playing better. What have you noticed over this 7-game win streak?
It was, I think that was hard because it was that loss to who you lost to, but it snapped a bit of a streak. And I think that was a come back down to earth moment, if you will, because last year's team, that became the marker in the bar. I mean, that was like an unbelievable 6-year senior team, just steamrolled everybody. And you kind of be like, we kind of have to forget that. Like you would a bad season or a really bad team, you kind of have to, okay, here's where we are now. I mean, we can't, that level of expectation is unsustainable maybe. But then they've just steadily kind of gotten better. They've had some injuries knocked out, on the defensive side in particular. Without Tucker for a while, Colby Herter is out and done. And so, but you've had guys just kind of step in the wide receiver game with Mark Gronowski getting more comfortable with some young guys, doesn't have the Yankees anymore. So there's just been this, you feel like an incremental gain. I mean, certainly who you're playing plays into a part of that then too, but kind of feel like they have gotten maybe a little bit better every week.
Griffin Wilde seemed like you needed a searchlight to find him against the Bison, and then now in the last 7 games, he's been on fire I remember seeing him in the first game last year. I'm like, oh man, the Jacks have got another dynamite young wide receiver, and this guy, watching him last week, Scott, I mean, he's superstar level now in the FCS.
He's gotten a little moxie to him. Last weekend he made a catch that was incredible against Incarnate Word, and he kind of turned around and gave some holiday greetings to the defender. He's gotten a little bit of an edge. He's kind of, he's coming into his own, put on about 20, 30 pounds. He makes these spin moves he's like, ooh, that was a Yankee. That was a Yankee. I mean, you see these things that he's doing, and Lofton Ogroski, another Minnesota kid, true freshman, they pulled a shirt. He does the same things, and it's freaky how they've just kind of, they keep growing and they keep challenging him and they keep answering the bell.
The topic we run into up here is on attendance for the postseason. The Jacks, to me, always have it with, considering you guys play outside in December. What did you get a sense of that the last two games, for the game against Incarnate Word and the previous round against Granted, Montana was pretty nice outside. What do you get a sense of that for fans in Brookings about this football team and going to watch games in December?
Is it the weather? Is it other activities? It wasn't that last weekend, I don't think. The weather was probably the worst, and I don't know if it's just a waning or you get tired but at the same time, I had someone that said, hey, we got 6 of us, we bought tickets, we walked up, and they just came. And those crowds that come, as you know, they're diehards, and they make as much noise when there's 19,000 there. So that 9,000 can sound twice as loud to make it sound like that. So I mean, they're the fiery ones that come.
How many layers do you have on this past Saturday?
I wasn't too bad, I went the light base layer. I went with a little heavier pant, and then I had it was windy, so I wanted something. I just put on a wind pant, and I toughed it out.
There you go.
Me and 8,000 others. So
no need for that, although earplugs might be necessary. The environment in October, you've been here for all the previous other games. Where did that one rank for the regular season game that was played up here a couple months ago?
A battle like you would expect. It was just, in the crowd and the cheerleaders and the sideline and the whole bit. I mean, it's everything as advertised. You would expect nothing less, and it's fun football. And when you stop, I stopped and thinking, like, this Saturday I will too. When I watch Cam Miller and I watch Mark Gronowski, and I'm like, this is really good football right here. I mean, this is some high level when you get to hear it and get to be that close. And, there's many teams that have turned pads in and they're playing they're Xboxing it and game station it on Saturday to still be able to get to do this. And let's be honest, for decades, for almost a generation, Dom, we don't know anything different than playoff football.
Yep.
We get to be a part of December football, and you don't take that for granted. It's a great, to me, the older I get, the more melancholy or get off my lawn attitude I get. It's like, the game is great and it's fun, and I want the good guys to win, but being a part of it's pretty fun.
Yep.
Pretty cool environment.
I'm with you there. I just I like to have a front row seat towards it. That's all you ask for. And the game that you had that happened in October was sensational. You hope for something similar on Saturday. You just hope for a great game, great story. That's all I ever. Whoever wins is great. That just you want to, and you had that. That was the case the first time around, and I firmly believe it's going to happen this time around. There's other things we were talking about, Scotty, yesterday and earlier in the show. For the Jacks, they've done everything against the Bison, except this is the one thing, is beat them in the playoffs in Fargo. How much is that a deal when you're around this team? Is that something that this is the last item on the resume to check off?
To get a win over North Dakota State, I think, home or on the road, is going to be a little bit of a star. But yeah, to win there, certainly, I think that might be a story afterwards. They haven't come out and said that. I think they're more playoff minded, and a trip to Frisco was on the line. I think that storyline, a trip to get to Frisco, beating it in Fargo, it'd be great, and a little icing on it. Having won the national championship in Frisco against North Dakota State probably is a heavier storyline that they might relate to. But it certainly, that would be one more little footnote that they can add to the story of this tradition to get together and play.
Is there a player or players that have really, I'm not maybe surprised you, but stood out that you weren't counting on when the season began, in your opinion?
Boy, that's a good one. Colby Humphrey, the corner that transferred in, he's been this quiet guy, and we talked to coordinators last week, and they just talked how he's really meshing with guys and how fast something like that happens. Those when, because you don't see a lot of it from the Jacks, when they bring somebody in, the way Jason Freeman a couple years ago.
Yep.
Jason Freeman now comes and helps on the sidelines on Saturdays to volunteer coach, because he was here for a year or two. And so those little stories like that, when guys, they aren't developed in the program, but they jump in like they've been here for 4 or 5 years. Those little storylines like that, aside from the way they play, those, when they talk about family, talk about culture, I think NDSU and Fargo does it the same way. When guys get here, they live it. They live it for a decade. They live it the rest of your life.
I'd be remiss to not ask you about the women's basketball team in Brookings, as you are the voice of SDSU women's hoops. As I looked this morning in the latest net rankings, the Jacks are 41 in the country. I don't remember a time that high. I knew they were going to be good. Is this even better than you thought?
The depth that AJ's got right now, it's gotten even deeper. Hillary Barron's, who hasn't played since high school, been injured the last 2 years, is now finally in the lineup. She provides a little, 5'10", 5'11" wing post type player. But then Katie Vasika, this young freshman from T, just the last couple of games, she's had some ups and downs as a freshman figuring it out. But just the depth and he tried to put in, empty the bench, and it's like, Ellie Colbeck has started 20 games, and so it's just finding the way the coaching has had to go to get everybody time on the floor has been remarkable, and it's pretty incredible. Everybody's healthy right now, and again they're finding new roles. Brooklyn Meyer gets a double team every time, so how can she get rid of it? And taking weight off the shoulders of Paige Meyer. You've got an Emily Fox, a young freshman, Madison Mathowitz. How do you put new wrinkles in to give them a little leeway? So, it's been fun watching them. When they went to Hawaii and then played Georgia Tech and Oregon, there was a lot of learning that happened in those two games right there. But yeah, the competition's been salty, and you get a top 5 team in Texas this coming weekend to kind of put a capper on that non-conference and head to Summit League play. Kind of cooking.
Oh,
6
man.
in a row. It's fun to be a part of.
Well, I watched the Duke game. You were there. They had every opportunity to win that game. And that in the new building, and I put that in quotation marks, given the atmosphere for that one, you've called amazing. South Carolina, everybody. What was that one with Duke rank for you?
That was right up there.
Yeah.
When you take a look at Duke, and just the way Coach Carol Lawson goes about business, seeing her in the hallway and just a quick 30-second chat, hey, I appreciate what you do, and wants to ask you questions about what's going on. And teams like that have come in. Notre Dame has been here. It's to give them that element to put on a show and to play well. To kind of have chances going down the stretch. It puts that mental psyche, if you're a player and a coach on that team or even a fan, this team is real deal, and they've got some potential here. So it's great to have those home games that are like that, and the environment was truly special at First Bank.
To me, I know how much Brooklyn Meyer is, how good she is. Paige makes them go. For the first time I saw her 3 years ago, Scotty, she is sensational. I don't know if people have as deep an appreciation for her as they need to have, in my mind.
Her passing. The way she'll sling it like it's a baseball, literally from 50 feet away through traffic, fast break, transition, finds a cutting Madison Velostin on a back door. She'll do these little wraparound, no-look things, that part of her game. But then she can fake a kick out and shoot a layup off the glass. She is just, and she gets double teamed, can get you out of a trap at half court. She can do everything. So, and just the last thing she wants to do is come talk post game on the radio. She wants to just play basketball and be a student. And that's the other part of her. She's just like this low key kid. So.
Has those been tough on the post games, like trying to pry words out of her? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no! She does it, and and when you follow a team, you build a little rapport, and she'll okay, I'll do it. It's not going to be again her first choice to come do it, but any of those kids like that too. It's great to get to meet them.
I can't believe we can't get like a Jackrabbit big time booster to get a private jet from Fargo to Austin. Can we got to make that happen? You can't miss that game on Sunday. Come on!
I'll be on the couch with popcorn and little Arnie Palmer ready to go and watch that one. Brad Peterson, my partner, he'll get to do that one. So that's been a blast to be able to share that. And again, it's not I have to, it's I get to. And we have a good problem of overlapping of seasons and trying to make it all work and get bodies. We used about 2 weeks ago, we used every headset we had available to pull off women's basketball in Hawaii, men's basketball in the Caymans, football, and then there was indoor track and field at the SJAC. So, it was just like this zoo and mess to get it all on the air. But again, you get to, you don't have to.
It's great to see you, bud. Can't wait to see you on Saturday. Have a great call tonight, and thanks for doing this morning, okay?
Anytime, Dom. Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, bud. Scotty Kwasniewski joins us, South Dakota State radio voice. He's sideline reporter for Jackrabbit football and the voice of the Jacks women's basketball team. SDSU plays Dakota State tonight. And again, they have a game with Texas. I know. So before the Vikes play Sunday, SDSU plays. Texas is ranked 6th in the country. Okay, that SDSU's played Creighton. They played Wisconsin. They've played Duke. They've played Oregon. Now they're playing Texas. What do you think they're going to do in the Summit League? Okay, when they play the likes of Omaha, Denver, Oral Roberts, the Bison. I mean, come on. Nothing is going to compare to what they've done in the non-conference. That is something else. I know that's why they play the games, but that's going to be a tall task for anybody to keep those games with the Jackrabbits close on the women's side. We're overdue for a break. We come back, got a couple emails to catch you up on, and pretty big-time local football recruitment news as well. Hot Mike rolls on. Back after this.